Hey there, it's the Slya here. Thanks for joining me today in an interesting video. Here I am showing you how to defeat Shao Kahn in both the easier and harder towers of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3's arcade version with full clips. I had previously only recorded the winning screen in the arcade for this fight. Towards the end I also show you how I beat Motaro, albeit I had shown that in an earlier video. This video is split into chapters starting with the Shao fight in the easier Novice Tower. The tougher tower's Shao Kahn fight starts at 1 minute 26 seconds. The Motaro fight begins at 4 minute 29 seconds. By the way, I am playing on an arcade 1-up machine, not a midway one from the 1990s. But I believe it is an official and authentic product, and the controls, layout, and AI are probably a close match to the original arcade version from the 1990s, albeit I never visited the arcades in the 1990s but know those standalone and bigger machines. Today I wanted to show you these fights as firstly the AI was much harder and faster than looks in the video. Secondly because everyone has different methods and I knew about a lot of them. But this arcade 1-up cabinet was 2 years old, and only specific things worked for me. At 1 minute 26 seconds you see me fight Shao in the Warrior or Master Towers. At 4 minutes 29 seconds the fight with Motaro commences. The key strategy one used to beat Shao Kahn's special spam and speed is to use Liu Kang's low fireball, and then as Shao came closer and missed his upper shoulder charge you had a very narrow window to uppercut him. It required very subtle and precise timing to cleanly shift from forward low punch to down and high punch in a fraction of a second, without pressing any other buttons, and you had to try and draw him close to a corner. Had done it better last week but it works. Particularly good given this cabinet was 2 years old and personally I did not like how poorly the joystick was working today. Now in terms of the Warrior/Master Tower fight, these fights were much harder than the base one in the arcade. Took a few attempts but was alright. But yes, the AI was crazy tougher today. Someone must have altered the base difficulty of the game. The harder mode Shao being seen here was crazier than he looks, and this was the fight I won using my tactic. Otherwise he was brutal. And it took me more than 20 takes to beat Shao at the harder mode of the game. At the 3-minute mark of this video you did see some clips from the other harder mode fights I had with Shao Kahn. The reward menu upon completing the fight/game is also interesting as seen here. Shorter commentary to continue at the 3-minute and 4 minute 29 second mark. These are some clips from the lost attempts at defeating Shao in the harder towers to show what the AI was like. Now here, in the arcade back in the 90s when this game was paid for, the arcade AI was designed to be a bit cheap to make you play again and again. The AI only got balanced and fairer in later Mortal Kombat games as the competitive scene arose. Whilst reaching up to this fight in Warrior/Master Striker put up a good fight, Sub-Zero and Jade were randomly untouchable and hard to face but toned down their difficulty as you repeated their fights beyond a point. Sonya was very tough to face but hers was the only non-cheap and genuinely tough AI that thought like a tactical fighter and was enjoyable to face. The fight against sub-boss Motaro seen at the 4 minutes 29 seconds mark was tough, but it is the same in all versions of this game in all ports. But now coming to this harder mode fight against Shao Kahn, he went absolutely crazy and at times the joystick input got delayed or did not work. At times the input timing was inconsistent, as in an uppercut timed at a particular point worked in one round but not in the next, and if you tried to match his speed he delayed his recovery or blocked when he shouldn't have. But eventually I got him as seen in the first 3 minutes of this video. This is the Motaro fight. Like my first video I used input timing and characters that could jump punch into a punch combination to take him out easier. You need to target him in the short window that he is unblocked after trying his forward punch whilst keeping far enough that he doesn't perform his unblockable throw. Today the controls did not consistently recognize combos in this fight. Must be due to the age of the cabinet, but otherwise in this version of Mortal Kombat 3 on all ports Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 there are no reported problems, and it is usually of higher quality. You can also run up to Motaro at the time he is unblocked and do a full combo like the PC version, but I was in a hurry to finish this fight and use the most accessible techniques. Given that combos were inconsistent against him today, you will see I did not take some opportunities to run up to him and combo. The recording here is of Motaro at normal difficulty. In the Warrior and Master Towers, this guy spams his teleports and fireballs like crazy at zoners, and does a lot of chip damage even if you block. That required coordination, and even whilst holding off his throws you had to avoid exceeding a certain distance to avoid the fireball spam. Eventually, at the end of the day, a good experience on the whole, and good to see I can still play these games and finish them nearly 30 years after they were first released. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do let me know your comments and strategies, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.